Hi, fellow dog fanciers. Lately, I've mostly talked about our puppy Eris, but the focus of today's video will be on our oldest Whippet, Lacey. It's been a while since I've given you an update on her, and a lot has happened in the past 1 year. I also hope this video will have a sobering effect on anyone who wants a puppy just because they're cute, or to those that want a mature whippet with established manners and habits because they don't have the time or the nerves for the demanding puppy stage. To both of these groups of people, with good care, hopefully your dog will become a senior one day, and depending on the hardship of old age, they might even be more demanding than any puppy. In addition, I want this channel to not only show the good and happy sides of owning whippets, but also the challenges. They are a part of reality. This video will include a lot of story times and also footage of what dementia can do to a dog, so I guess it will be a long one. If you're new here, I'm Adi and I've had Whippets for 15 years. I'm currently owned by 8 of them and I make breed specific videos. Every once in a while, I might make a video on a different dog or animal related topic. If that's your type of content, you want to learn more about the breed, or you want to know that you're not alone in your love and passion for Whippets, subscribe, support the channel, and join our growing Whippet family. Let's get into the video. If you happen to be new to this channel, Lacey is now 13 years and 7 months old, and around 6 or already 7 years ago, she was running outside chasing her ball like every single day, and out of nowhere, she was on the ground screaming in pain. The diagnosis was herniated disc, and for a few days, her hind legs were completely paralyzed. Fortunately, she recovered rather quickly, but ever since she is a bit unstable while walking, and her mobility gets slightly worse with every year that passes. Due to this spinal injury, she's always had less desire to be as active as a healthy dog and found more joy in lying around or sleeping. She gets tired easily, so she has to choose where and how long to walk. When the weather is nice, she likes to walk in the garden for an hour or even two. She sometimes trots, although that's rare, but she never runs or sprints. Remember this fact, it will be important for what I'll show you later. During the last few years, Lacey became a very picky eater, and this got worse as she was aging. We had to switch foods frequently to keep them exciting, and at the beginning of this year, things got very concerning. At a single meal, she ate not more than 10 pieces of kibble and called it a day. Even a chihuahua is supposed to eat more. It's not like she was not interested in food at all. She got very excited whenever I opened the bag of treats, but she was just not interested in the meals I was offering anymore. At the time, she spent most of her days in my room, so she was close by while I was working, and I was her primary caretaker. Her lack of interest in food progressed until one day she barely ate anything, and this made us very worried. Her behavior, other than that, was normal. Late that evening, I was brainstorming on what to do, so I jumped in my car and drove to a large pet store that I knew worked till late in my desperation to look for something more exciting for Lacey to eat. I came home with a big bag full of canned and wet food. This was last resort for us because I thought once she transitions to these types of meals, she will never look at different foods again. And by the way, she also hated raw food. At 10 in the evening, as soon as I opened the first can of food, she got very excited and she ate a lot, and we were relieved. For the next few days, she was very excited about her new meals until she wasn't. Feeding became a struggle again. I would place her bowl here because she liked to eat on the bed. She would take one bite, she would turn around, jump off the bed, walk all the way to the end of the hallway, after which I would call her back, and with a lot of struggle she would come back, jump on the bed, and repeat the same process 3 or 4 times until she didn't want to eat anymore. Around that same period, she started peeing on my bed. None of my whippets have ever done that, so this was very frustrating. She would just wake up, and squat to pee. I knew she wasn't doing it on purpose, as she also looked very confused. I started thinking those are symptoms of canine cognitive dysfunction, but I wasn't sure, though the puzzle pieces started coming together within the following weeks. At times, she would be lying on the bed with her eyes open, and it would seem like she is just resting and is aware of her surroundings. As soon as I approached her to cover her with a blanket, she would be so startled. So I learned I had to announce my presence to make sure she sees me before I get close to her. We noticed she gets stuck at the stairway often. She would step on the first stair, step down, walk away, make a big circle, and repeat over and over and over again. We had to go to her and encourage her just by speaking to go up, and usually that worked. Going down the stairs was never a problem. Walking in circles was a behavior she showed in other situations as well. At night, she would prefer to sleep elsewhere and not in my bed. So, thanks to the cameras, we found out that she is walking in circles for sometimes an hour before she actually goes to sleep. And then one day, she did something that terrified me and confirmed my dementia theory. I was cleaning the second floor. Some of the whippets were around me, and Lacey was on the couch. Out of nowhere, she starts barking, which she never did for years. It took me a while to process what I was hearing. She literally never does this. The other whippets were also confused. Was she in pain? What was going on? I started talking to her, and then I went to her to see what's wrong. As soon as I approached her, she took off and ran down the stairs. I was in disbelief. Naturally, the other whippets ran after her. I mean, this old lady never runs, so it must be due to something exciting. She ran outside and continued to bark, sprint, and jump around. This was not Lacey, I'm telling you. I blocked the doggy door to prevent the rest from going outside and running over her, and I went to look for Lacey. And she once more ran away from me as soon as I approached. Eventually, we called her and we brought her to my room, and she was back to her normal self like nothing ever happened. She wasn't even panting, and considering she could no longer be called an athlete due to the decreased physical activity, I expected obvious signs of exhaustion. Nothing. It's like what happened 5 minutes ago was just an illusion. She took a few treats with great excitement and then just went to sleep. Meanwhile, my heart was going to explode. That's how scared I was. Maybe she didn't recognize me at the time. Maybe I looked like a monster or a predator, so she barked at me and then ran away out of terror. We will never know what was going on in her mind, but it was clearly an episode due to dementia. All her behaviors, including her decreased appetite, matched the canine cognitive dysfunction checklist. So I started reading, researching, consulting with different people, and she is on supplements since. Please, for any of you watching, if you suspect your dog has dementia, consult with a professional before giving any medication or supplements. Proper diagnosis is important to confirm any sort of condition. This was the first and last episode of that kind, and I'm grateful because it's terrifying. There is no cure for dementia, the progression can only be slowed down. Her condition improved though, she started eating consistently, and around the end of February, she moved downstairs full time. She didn't like it there before, and she was distant from the other whippets. Now she likes it very much and she seems to enjoy the company of the rest of the pack. As a recommendation by our vet, we started her on CBD oil as well, which also helped a lot with her mobility. But the challenges didn't end there. She once more stopped enjoying her food. She eats tiny amounts numerous times a day. My mom started cooking for her meat with rice, only meat. Periodically, she would eat a cooked steak or grilled chicken, and sometimes she likes some raw meat. At this point, it's about eating whatever she likes. It will either be this or nothing at all, and she is capable of starving herself, so we're way beyond the point of age appropriate diet and nutrition. She won't have them, or if she does, it will be for 2 days max. Often it would seem like she's not hungry as she stares at her food for a long time before she starts to eat. Every once in a while, she would like to eat with the rest of the pack, and then she would prefer to eat alone. She's very tricky. She also pees in the house, and mostly at night or early in the morning when there is no one awake to open the door for her. And because her hind legs are not the most stable, she can slip and fall, which is very dangerous as she can't get up without help. And while puppies are pretty straightforward, they eat, sleep, play, get into mischief if you don't watch them. With Lacey, it's often unclear what she needs and wants. Sometimes she wants to eat, she wants her water bowl refreshed, or she needs help with lying down on a particular bed that's taken by another Whippet. But occasionally she'll stand next to you and stare at you, and it will not be clear what she needs. And this can go on for hours. She wants something, but it's beyond the usual list of needs. We also suspect that often she doesn't really know what she wants, and that she also forgets that she just ate or she was just outside. Due to all her special needs, it's not an option to leave her completely alone during the day, and we always make sure there is someone in the house at all times in case she needs to eat or go out. We have a large pack of whippets, and most of them like to play and run around, and if she's on their way, they will push her. By accident, of course, but someone needs to be downstairs to prevent this from happening. She has good and bad days. One day she looks very lethargic and we think that's it, it's all getting worse now. The next day she is fine, she walks around, eats well, and looks great. So yes, Lacey is a senior whippet with a lot of special needs. Between the average puppy and her, she is so much more difficult to care for. Attending to her needs is a full-time job. We just hope she'd be around for more time and that her quality of life will remain good. We often have to consider quality of life with older dogs or such with specific health conditions. But she still enjoys life, attention, particular foods, and she is not in pain. On a brighter note, we have two 11-year-old boys, Brady and Cooper, that still act like puppies from time to time, and knock on wood, they're doing great. And we also have Skylar, who is 9, and she is in a super condition also. Whippets are a rather healthy breed and live long, happy lives. Lacey was just unlucky with her spinal injury, and because of it, she is more predisposed to other complications, such as dementia, which is very common in dogs that aren't physically and mentally active. As I said in the previous video about Lacey, please only consider getting a dog if you're ready to give it the best care possible at all life stages. And just know that a puppy is sometimes not less demanding than an older dog with special needs. I think that was enough for today's video. Have a lovely weekend and a fantastic week afterwards, and I will see you next Friday with a new one. Bye bye!